I want to show you something special. This is my fan palm, and it has the big fans on it, and they call it a the chit tree here. Not to be confused with something else, but there's something really special on it, and that's these little seeds or berries that come out this time of year, and they're starting to turn color, so I'm going to collect some of them. And it's a kind of berry that you will be familiar with the name, I think most of you, because they are saw palmetto. So I'm going to collect them. They are edible to the birds and they are edible to people, but they are terrible. They're nasty. It's not something that you would want to eat. So I am going to make a tincture with this because saw palmetto, if you know, is a very good herb for men for prostate issues. I won't get into the details of that because I can't, but most of you will be familiar. And also it's good for some hormonal issues with women as well, and for hair loss related hormone issues. So there's some really, really important things that saw palmetto can be useful for, and more. So I'm just collecting these berries that are ripe, as you can see. I'm going to take them in and then I'll show you how to make a tincture with them. Okay, I took what I needed for today and I left a bunch because I like to leave these for the birds and the bees because it's an important part of the ecosystem. And I'm lucky I live in Mexico and I have these in my yard, because if you do some research, like in Florida, there's places that you are not allowed to pick these, and they're a big deal. We're not supposed to cut these trees down here either, so you can't just go pick them just anywhere. Here's the palm leaves of the fan palm or the chit. So I'm going to muddle them up a little bit just to get all the properties out of these saw palmetto berries, and then I'm going to put them in some jars that I'm going to make tinctures of. So this is kind of the fun part. All right. So I wash these first really well, of course. They always need to be super clean. I think I'm just going to make one. Get these into the jar. I'll collect some more later. You could also dry these, make a powder. Some people put them into capsules. I don't like gelatin capsules. I don't like to take capsules. I prefer to put tinctures into smoothies or into water. That's just my preference, but you could also make them into dry or make them into capsules. And then you could also make this into a vinegar tincture, but it won't last as long. So I use the vodka because of how long it lasts. And you're only going to be taking little droplets of it, right? Okay, now I'm going to add the vodka that's 40% or more. Preferably 50%. I can't get that here, so I'm going with a 40%. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. If you could get an organic vodka, that's great. I'm going to fill it up. The reason why we're using vodka is to preserve it and to pull the properties out of the berry. So I know I'd rather not use alcohol, but this is how we make the tinctures. That's how they're made. A vinegar tincture would also work, but it's not going to last as long and it's not going to be as effective. So I'm going to fill this up. I'm going to shake it a few times a day for a while. It's going to turn a rich, rich purple, and I let mine go for like 8 weeks. Some people do their tinctures differently. I do mine really strong and I'm not in a rush. And then I'm going to pour this into a glass bottle and be able to, then after that, as I need it, pour it into small little bottles. I'll show you that later. So this is just my first one because the berries are just starting to turn ripe. Here it is, the start of a Saw Palmetto tincture. I might try drying some too to show you that process. But Saw Palmetto berry tincture making 101 from the jungle. So you make the time. Make the time to try to make things yourself if you can. I know these are not readily available, but other tinctures work the same way. I'm just showing you kind of the principles of tincture making.